number 3, our Appalachian Trail.
Yes.
That's your gem.
Yes.
Why don't you take the lead?
Appalachian Trail. Now listen, this is not for the weak of heart. This is not for the hikers that say, oh, I want to put a nice little light backpack and just float around from tree to tree. No, that's not what this is. Appalachian Trail is real deal. I got to thank my boy Eddie for bringing me along.
Challenging you.
Challenging me. I'm a little overweight, a little out of shape, and I don't recommend you do that in such conditions. I recommend you do train. But we did do a great hike. We did roughly about, I think, 16 to 18 miles.
But even though it doesn't sound like a lot of miles in the days that they went, they were going straight up.
Yeah, there was a day that was, day one was just going up. It was close to like 6 miles of just straight up, which again, if you're out of shape and not, in the best condition, it was a little challenging, and we roughed it. It was
raining. Yeah. A little bit where we were, but they were a little bit more north than the girls, and they were in the rain.
We got lucky because we stopped at a shed a shelter that's along in the path. And what's great is, what's great about the Appalachian Trail is that, you have markers for everything, like here's water, fresh water resource, here's a shelter. So we stopped at the shelter. And it was raining really nicely. And what I mean by nicely is that I just literally sat there with my whiskey and just listened to the water come down. And it was one of the most magical moments and disgusting too, because it's 3 men smelly.
You brought whiskey on the trail?
Yes, I did.
I had no idea.
Yes, I did. I brought it. I had to for my nerves, but the whiskey went away in the first night. It was, I didn't have whiskey the second or third night, but it was great. It was just magical listening. I did finally go to the bathroom outside, in the trees.
No, I don't think nobody wants to hear about.
Nobody wants to hear that. It was pretty interesting. But yeah, we had to put up our food up in the line so no animals could come and get it.
They did have visitors though.
Not that night though. Not the first night that it was raining. The second night that we went and we stopped at the second shelter. Now we had an option here, right? It wasn't raining. It was actually a beautiful camp area, beautiful with the shelter, and it was open, and you were in the middle of all these trees. It was gorgeous camp shelter area. But then, I was like, okay, we're going to pitch a tent. What are we doing here? And then, we were like, nah, we were exhausted. So we're like, no, forget it. Let's just stay in this beautiful shelter with a loft on the top. Well, in the loft is home to many species of animals, primarily rats. And unfortunately,
mice. They're little mice.
To me, I don't care if it's a mice or a rat. They're all rats. They're all nasty and not cool. So basically, yes, I basically slept with a rat. It was on my pillow in my sleeping bag. I had to wake up. So needless to say, I was up at 3 a.m. Already packed and ready to go hit the trail because I was not feeling the sleeping with the rat situation. But yeah, that was my experience. It doesn't sound very polished, and it wasn't, but it was a hell of an experience because it made you hurt, but it made you appreciate beauty, nature, and really disconnect and just kind of. I got very primitive, and sometimes you need to get primitive to kind of come back up. Just some interesting facts about the Appalachian Trail. It does start in Springer Mountain, Georgia, and it does span about 2,198 miles to Maine. The section in Georgia, it does include 79 rugged miles through the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is pretty cool. Blue Ridge are beautiful. Popular spots are obviously Blood Mountain and Neal Gap. The trail. So I want to talk about the Trail Angels. Right, so there are trail angels.
I had never heard about that.
Yeah, so trail angels are basically our volunteers.
Trail angels.
Angels. What did I say?
You're mumbling.
Sorry. It's,
mumble.
It's the trail angels. They're volunteers who assist hikers
that have nothing better to do all day.
No, they're nice people. Why do you see? Where are you gonna knock them down?
I just find it strange.
It's not strange.
Hey,
you go. You're hiking.
You haven't even finished what they do yet.
Okay, well, because you don't let me talk. So basically, the trail angels. Could I finish?
These are people that go, that have that on their own free will decided that they're going to head on over to a different part of the Appalachian Trail, and they are going to have like water or sandwiches or anything that
the hikers need.
that the hikers would need. And they just sit there and they wait for people.
It's not just sit there because there's hikers that go in and out. So
Hikers, where did you see?
there was hikers that, like, for example, like I had like a whole battery pack for you to charge your electronics. That guy offered to make us grilled cheese sandwiches. He had a thing of water so you could refill your water. It was great. Medicine if you guys are injured. Or
They probably had that moonshine, and they were seeing.
I wish they had moonshine.
I just find it strange.
I don't find it strange. So do you know there are some very, very, very famous ones. Two I'm going to mention is Miss Janet and the Cookie Lady. Apparently bakes cookies for
Like they still do this?
Yeah, they still do this, and they're very well known. And there's a bunch of Instagram handles that talk about these trail angels. So
Upper tone.
and copper tongue. I didn't want to talk about copper tongue.
Why?
Okay, we'll talk about that later. So trail angels, thank you very much. We love you. So that was one of the great things about hiking Appalachian. And now I'm just gonna give you some real crazy facts about the AT. Okay, because obviously I go down a wormhole when I go hike somewhere, and because I get scared, like what? So basically,
Is that really true?
yes, all this is true.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Outrageous fact number 1 about the Appalachian Trail. The fastest through hike took only 41 days by Carol Sabat in 2018.
I just want to reiterate this. This is from Georgia to Maine. Normally, average takes 6 months, and this person did it in 41 days.
But pretty much almost, like a month and 10 days, 11 days? That's crazy.
That is.
So there have been trailside murders that have occurred. No trail angel has been suspect. So just letting you know that.
Oh, I wouldn't even have thought that. Oh my God, that's true.
Yeah.
Trail angels,
Just saying.
murderers.
Yeah.
Thank God you didn't eat that grilled cheese sandwich.
So there was, and then so outrageous fact number 3. Listen to this. Grandma Gatewood, she hiked solo at 67 with no gear.
That's a myth.
No, that's not a myth. That's a fact.
Is she still alive?
She died in the trip. No, I'm playing that. Joke. Bad joke. She didn't die. She survived, obviously, but 67 with no gear. I barely survived with a shit ton of gear, and I'm not 67.
So June 21st is Hike Naked Day. So if you're near a trail, go on and get down to your birthday suits and hike that trail on June 21st. It's right around the corner.
Well, this is going to air after June 21st.
Oh, so
but
it just passed.
But we're shooting on June 20th. So tomorrow, people are going to be hiking naked in the Appalachian Trail.
Look at that.
Yeah. And then,
little Willy.
you want to try the next one? The next one is pretty good.
Wrong Way Ray hiked the trail backward. Stop it. These are stupid.
No, it's not stupid.
Why
It's
would he
fact.
do that?
Because he's backward Ray or wrong way Ray. Shannon, there's people that do extraordinary things that you're not, you have to be open-minded to.
Okay.
Okay, did you know that in Damascus, Virginia is where they split the trail?
Where does it go?
To Maine. Supposedly, another outrageous AT fact. There's haunted shelters.
Love that.
Yeah, and I experienced it. The ghost of Rat Pack.
Oh my God.
That little fricker thing scared the shit out of me.
Oh, this hiker, he was blind and he completed it with his guided dog. So shout out to Bill Irving.
Yeah. And his dog. Not shout out to him, to his dog.
His dog.
I'm going to be, look, hey, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a scar here and I could see, okay? I'm not blind, all right? And I tripped and I flew headfirst going downhill. So
on his last day.
On my last day, actually a few
minutes,
like I think it was 0.3 miles to the exit.
To where we were picking him up.
And I destroyed myself. So that kudos to blind hiker Bill Irwin and his guide dog, because there's a lot of, it's rocks. I think Eddie told me something. It's the trail of AT is roots and rocks.
Roots and rocks.
Roots and rocks. And so it's a little dangerous.
So how many calories do you burn up in a day if you're hiking on the trail?
I burned about 3,000 calories.
Well, here it says that people actually can burn up to 6,000. So
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And then unique trail names, by the way.
Stink.
Stink.
Which that's how we picked up the boys because they were stank.
Stank. Blister Queen.
Ew.
Yeah. Those are some unique trail names.
Look at those
I got my trail name, Keys.
Story for another time.
Yeah, for another time. So little tips for you guys if you guys are interested in hiking the AT Trail. Perfect day for hikers, section hikers, and these. It's perfect for day hikers,
Like a quick
section hikers, and those doing to do the whole list. So meaning that you could do the AT and the person or the type of hiker you are. Obviously, I am a section hiker. Like I could do one little section of it for 2 or 3 days. I don't think I could go beyond maybe 4 days. I think that's where I stop and say I need a massage. But yeah, it's great to break it up that way. There is ask about support packages for gear, transport, and lodging. So there are services where they could transfer your gear. That way you don't have to lug it around and all that stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, and as Eddie also told me too, that if you are a solo traveler and you want to do this hike, there are transportation services that pick you up at the trailheads where they could take you back to your car. So if you leave your car at one trailhead and you finish 4 days in another one, there is transportation services to bring you back to your vehicle.
Very cool. North Georgia Trail sections are great for introduction to long distance hiking.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah, because according to some experts, aka my friend Eddie, the North Carolina is pretty. He said, he goes, if you want to do North Carolina, which I kind of do, to be honest, he said that's a minimum of 7 days, 7 to 10 days, because there is a section there where if you go in, it's about 60 to 70 miles to get out.
There is no picking up.
Yeah, so it's a little daunting. But if you guys want to know more about it, or if you want some more insight on what section to do, what gear to bring, please make sure to hit us up, send us a comment, message, DM us, and we'll be more than happy to provide that information.
And this was perfect. We went as 2 families, but we split up. Boys went one way, the girls went the other. And then at the end, we all kind of came together and we did all the fun family stuff together. So this was a great week in Georgia.
Yeah, I had a great time. Great. And it was simple, but yet it was awesome. We were able to, like you said, have boys, girls trips, and then family trip all in one. And we disconnected. We disconnected. So that's it. This is our episode. Are you excited?
I'm excited. I had fun.
You had fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do I look like the Cuban Rip?
Yes. Yes, Cuban Rip.
Okay. I sense a little lying there, but that's fine. I'll take it. You're always going to be my...
Beth?
You're my best. Live the best.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
And thank you so much for watching. I hope this was informative. Please, again, subscribe, follow, DM us, message us. Please be part of our community and remember everything that you've spoken about.
We would love to help you get this trip if you wanted to do for your family. Yeah. Let us know.
Yeah, we could book it.
All right.
Ciao, Wakalau. Bye. Why don't you like that?
Stupid.